Hello, Baby Gang says this is Calvin, also known as Ormer, and this is my first ever playthrough of Ace Attorney Apollo Justice, and we're about to find out what I saw from Lamiro. I was on my way from the stage to the backstage exit. There was something like a little window there, that's how I saw it. Okay, so now you're changing the story altogether. Altogether, it's changing altogether now. You didn't peek through the doorway, did you? There were 2 shots. I couldn't do anything to stop it. But it wasn't Maki. It was a grown person. I know it was. But like, okay. This changes almost everything, right? If you're saying it wasn't Maki, then the whole idea of how they got escaped at the time doesn't make any sense then. It doesn't make any sense. The whole idea of like, oh, how did they escape? It was a little boy, that's how. So, which is it? So you did witness the crime. And the killer was a grown person, you say? This is my first time hearing this, I assure you. Nice play here for it. Very well, Mr. Justice. You may begin the cross-examination. Great going, Apollo. You were right about Lamiro. What's wrong? You don't look too happy. This whole thing smells fishy. That's what's wrong. Yeah, no, like to me it's like it's like a clear, like it happens all the time. She's back into a corner, she lies again. What I want to talk about first is that statement of her saying that it was a grown person, because then that doesn't make any sense whatsoever. It doesn't make any sense. But which one will we press on? This one or this one? This one, because then we know there'd have to be a big boy. A grown person? That's a little vague. I'm sorry. My skills with your language is lacking, I know. Certainly you could at least see whether the shooter was a male or female. He was a man. A young man. Ah, so it was Clavier. How old is Clavier? 24 is very young. Yes, his voice is quite clear. Voice? Looking at the diagram, it seems the dressing room was quite cluttered. It does seem likely that you wouldn't have had a clear view of the shooter. As a singer, I rely more on my ears than my eyes. When I hear a voice, I do not forget it. That voice was the voice of a man. So you heard a voice, but wait. Couldn't that have been the victim, Mr. Lataus? Absolutely not. Did I not just say that I do not forget a voice? If it was Mr. Lataus who spoke, I would have known. Indeed. So you're at the window and you heard a shooter's voice. The voice of a young man. Apollo, this is a good testimony. That proves it wasn't Maki. Indeed. If it turns out to be true, it would cast this case in considerable different light. What is the defense's opinion on this testimony? Yeah, See, we could be like, it's pretty good. But then, like, we're building up on a foundation on a lie. It's contradiction of what they said before. So if we had to, like, be like, if we said it like, yeah, it's pretty good, because then, like, okay, what Maki said is, then it's not Maki. The issue with that comes from the fact that now we have our foundation, the start of our maths equation is wrong. We can get the rest of it right, but it's always going to be based on a lie. So I'm going to say it's contradictory. Though it pains me to say this. There's something about Lamiro's testimony that rings false. Bravo, Air Forehead. You're colder than I thought. I'm sure you remember what the problem is as well as I do, Gavin. As has been established, no grown man could pass through the air vent. He couldn't have fled the scene of the crime. But that means Lamiro has to be lying. I know, and I know it's bad for our case, but I can't shut my eyes to this. Believe me, the idea was tempting. Yes, of course it is. It's so tempting. But like, I remember actually someone said on Twitter today that one of their favorite things about the Ace Attorney franchise is the fact that it's not about winning or losing in court. It's about finding the truth. And that stuck with me all day today before I played this game. Yet this is not the only contradiction within her testimony, huh? Where are you going with this? What's next? What is he talking about? Lamiro, I understand why you would want to protect Maki. Yet remember, you are the siren of the ballad, and lies do not become such a creature. What does the prosecution mean? Apollo, what is he talking about? How come no one bats an eye when he says stuff like that? I recall the state of the crime scene well. The state of the room? Yes, and when the murder took place, that window was closed. I found it hard to believe you could hear a voice through it. What? But I'm sure. Lamiro, I have nothing but the highest regard for your musical sense. And also, here's the thing. It's in a concert, like an arena. So the green rooms that they have in those arenas are made to not be annoyed by sound. Like they're made to like not be like to be as soundproof as not as soundproof as possible. The windows aren't going to be like paper thin, you know, like 80s windows or whatever, you know. My opinion of you as a witness is somewhat lesser. Objection! Oh, we're objecting? But she's the only eyewitness we have. Objection! So you say. And the victim named her the Siren as the witness? That's right. That's what Mr. Litt's house. We heard your claim, we even entertained the possibility, and it brought us to this. Hey, Judge. Yes? The prosecution requests that the witness be excused. I thought he was going to say executed, and I was like, dude, calm down, okay? Please. I'm afraid I must honor the prosecution's request. There is indeed a question of the witness's credibility. Forgive me for a second, but I have been in trials before with this judge, and maybe he's learned his lesson. I've been in trials with this judge before where particular witnesses have lied 8 times in a row. 8 times they've gotten something wrong and been contradicted, and he still goes, all right, this time you better tell the truth. You know, like it's happened before. You know what I mean? And now all of a sudden he's like, yo. And here's the thing, I get it's a video game, I get it, you know, that's how they have to do it, and it makes the game more interesting, you know, and it puts the pressure on us. And also, it is a case of, like, the other thing is, we can't for sure say she was in the room. That's a good point that we have to bring up, you know, me paying my dues for this. You can't just say that she was in the room. You need credible proof that they're in the room. Like, in other trials, we could say that for sure, Dahlia was an important witness, or you know, this person was an important witness, because of course they were, but now we can't pinpoint that if she was in the room or not. But if Lamiro, so that's actually a good point. I love countering myself in the video, it's always fun. I mean, like, I feel like that's like, I like doing that, because then at least like I don't you know, like I'd rather counter myself and prove myself wrong very quickly than have to live with myself being wrong for weeks, you know, or days, or even hours. But if Lamiro can't testify, then we don't have a chance of proving Maki's innocence. We do. We 100% do. And here's the thing. We have to look at it logically. How could he carry this man onto the goddamn scissor lift? How could he do that? How? Someone explain to me how this clearly, like I'm like 9.5 stone, right? I'm 9.5 stone. This is a 14-year-old kid who was like probably like 3 foot shorter than I am. I'm not carrying this guy onto a freaking dead weight onto a scissor lift without someone seeing me. I'd have to drag him, slide him, and then like do a leverage pull to try and get him up there. You know? Doesn't make any sense to me. It does not make a lick of sense to me. The cross-examination is over, Prosecutor Gavin. You may continue making your case. Donk. Now, where were we? Oh, yes, I would like to hear from Fräulein Detective again. From Trucy? Oh, no, sorry, talking about Trucy. She's a magician. Let me hear Lamiro's testimony one last time. But the cross-examination is already over. Until such time as a need arises, this witness may leave the stand. I'm sorry, I could be not be of more assistance. Oh, so it's just happening. Can I say? I'm gonna say something. I actually think that's really fantastic. That they let us as a character have this desperate moment where like, please let me do this one more time, and the judge put the foot down. You know what I mean? That type of stuff is awesome. At last, back to the real trial. Ready, Air Forehead? I hope I didn't just miss my only chance. It's tough because that felt like it was like, you know, we were doing something right here. And the thing is, like, the difference is, you know, we always start off these trials with someone very experienced in the driver's seat with us. You know what I mean? Trucy's great. Trucy's fantastic. She's super, super smart. But I feel like we're both flying blind a little bit here, you know? Fireline detective, how far have we gotten until we were so rudely interrupted? Don't ask me. I dislike saying the same thing twice. And I never repeat a song for an encore. If you would, Miss Guy. I believe I was saying that the only way Mr. House's killer could have escaped was through the air vent on the ceiling. Ah, yes, there was only one door in the room, and a witness, you, was standing in front of it. That air vent isn't very big, see? Kind of limits the people who could possibly get through. I certainly would have a difficult time, same. No, I don't think I would. It looked pretty big. You sure would. Not that you would have been there in the first place, though. Remember, the whole backstage area was off limits to people not involved with the concert. The only one who meets the conditions of our killer is the defendant. A virtuoso performance. I couldn't have put it better myself. She does state a clear case. Though reading the report, something caught my eye. Oh? What's that? The circumstances of the defendant's arrest. Circumstances? Again? Hey, that's right, Apollo. Remember when we found Maki? That was bizarre. He was like unconscious. We thought he was dead. In his little frilly outfit, look. How could this boy carry him onto a scissor lift and a guitar at the same time and press the button? How is no one even thinking of this first? Why did Mr. House's body disappear from the room and end up on top of that stage tower, holding a guitar no less? Yeah, an Epiphone as well. These are good guitars. A perspective observation there, Judge. Thanks. It was kind of an accident, really. But you work at this job long enough. You get a nose for things. You do not have a nose for anything. You might have a beard for things, but you don't have a nose for anything. I'm sorry. The judge seems pleased with himself. Very good, Floydline detective. Perhaps you can tie it all together for us. Why was the body moved? And how does it lead us to the killer? And tell us how the body was moved and how Maki did it. I believe Maki stole the body because of some lyrics. He moved the body to match Lamora's song. No one in this country had a motive to kill him. Wait, hold on a second. What part of the song? What part of the song? Sugar 90 key held on tight. We have this guitar in the sky. Guitar up together to the sky. So it's like you bring the guitar up to the sky on the lift. Okay. And Maki practically left his signature at the scene. What? What do you mean? Is she saying the bloodstain? What do you mean? That doesn't even look like Maki. Wait, how do you spell Maki again? Okay, maybe. But is this what she's talking about? All this evidence clearly points to the defendant. Okay, just tell me how he carried the body, please. Lamora's song? Yes, the guitar serenade. You noticed his code too, did you not? It's code? All events that day followed the lyrics to our song. Sugar, sugar, oh the night, your embrace. When you stole away the keys to my heart, held on to so tight. Pleasure, pleasure, but a fleeting melody. It wraps itself around me, and now through the air I fly. That's as good. We're not even yet. First the keys to my heart, so yeah. Burning on him. Then the prosecutor's cabin's guitar burst into the flames on stage. Mr. Tass's life was taken by a bullet. The rest hardly needs explanation. Yes, it does. Explain it to me. Go on. Guitar up together to the sky. Yeah. That's mad. that's crazy. What are you talking about? That's like when someone's not listening to you. That's crazy. So yeah, and then I lost my job. That's crazy. It's like a story out of some fairy tale. I admit I'd forgotten about the song. But there it is now, waiting for me. The grand finale. Hey, you know I was the one who first noticed that. Yeah, we complimented you. Maybe Apollo didn't, but we did. I've been jumping rope to songs and counting to songs. But killing? It's a wild world out there, Judge. No, it's not. Very well. We've heard one song and the dance. Let's get on to the next cross-examination. I'm not so sure I'm going to be doing much singing. So, the things that we were confused about. There's a few things. The lyrics, he moved the body to match Lamiro's song. We'll press this first of all. It's not something I don't think we're going to need. Does prosecution have any idea why he'd do all this? You want my scientific opinion? No clue. Same. But he clearly had a reason to go through all that trouble. Some deep reason. A deep reason? Not only did he steal my keys, he torched my guitar. You can't prove all this. You can't prove any of this. Unforgivable acts even if he had a reason. And worse, if he had none. The Diva's complaints aside. Oh, it's low. The Diva's complaints aside, I can't imagine someone doing this just on a whim. Fräulein Detective, I take offense at the description. Indeed, it does seem too well rehearsed, shall we say. I will say, though, like, Diva, I think, is a great way of describing Clavier, especially when we saw him at the actual concert itself. Indeed, it does seem too well rehearsed, shall we say. Yes, this crime was planned for sure. I love the glasses. No one in this country had a motive to kill the victim. No one in this Okay. Can we press this just to be sure? I kind of agree, but then again, it's like, man, we're throwing a lot out there. We're throwing a lot out there. Mr. House spoke English. He may have come to this country before. I looked into that, I assure you. It was his first time in the country, it seems. Apparently, he learned English on his own. Great. You see, no one here had a motive to kill him. And certainly not in such an elaborate fashion. It does seem difficult to imagine. Unless our famous prosecutor did it as a publicity stunt. What did you say? Prosecutor Gavin, you did this to promote your song? He did it. Lock him up. Lock him up with his brother. Weird, I didn't expect her to have like 3/4 length pants. I expect her to have like just long pants. Of course not, and I'm quite dismayed by the ludicrous nature of her claim. Why would I need a promotion? Everybody already listens to my music. They're even in my textbook at school. What? And I never heard of them. What did that say about me? It just means that like some. The thing is, like, for me, like, I'm always like my favorite band of all time is Coheed and Cambria, and when I listen to Coheed and Cambria, like a new song comes out, I'm like, this is like an event. This is the biggest time of my life. They just released A Joke recently, which was a good song. And I remember, like, then you look back at the video, you're like, oh, this video only has 24,000 views. And it's like, oh yeah, like, they're not the biggest band in the world. It's just, for me, they're huge. You know what I mean? It's like, everyone has different perspectives on, like, music and life. And, you know, Taylor Swift is huge to someone else, but it's not huge to other people. Like, no, she is huge in terms of, like, numbers and stuff. You know what I mean? In terms of, like, likeness, I guess, or stuff you like. I was just kidding. Don't get all worked up. Don't get all worked up, Glimmer Boy. And Maki Procky left us. This is for sure the one. This is for sure the one. Yeah, what did you mean by signature? The bullet holes in the wall, of course. The bullet holes? The revolver was fired twice. Okay. One shot missed and left a hole in the wall. You mean the bullet holes in the wall? That means what exactly? The dressing room isn't exactly spacious. The picture of the shooter facing off with the victim in there. They can't have been more than 5 feet apart. It would have been difficult, almost impossible to miss at that range. Difficult to miss, you say? Very. Assuming the shooter could properly aim. Hold on. Are you saying because he's blind? No, you can't be serious. Monkey, he can't see. That's why he missed? No, Trucy, don't speak like this. My theory could be that the gun is so heavy and causes recoil. If someone had never held that gun before, they said they had to be experienced with that gun. If someone never held that gun before, the first shot is going to miss. The first shot's going to be very, very weird, strange to handle. It's the only explanation that makes sense. He used sound and their senses to fire the gun. So, okay. He's so good that he could use like his senses around him to like locate where he's going to fire the gun. But he's not good enough to shoot a giant 6 foot like 3 man in front of him, 5 feet apart. Poorly. I get what they're saying. Doesn't add up for me. Still doesn't add up. We're still defending Maki. That reminds me, the monitor in that room was blaring at the time, ja? Hardly ideal conditions for tracking by sound. A blind shooter. No wonder he missed. We're not saying it was him. We mentioned before that this gun has recoil. Like crazy recoil. Not only that, but like an inexperienced shooter would know how to use it. And if you're gonna kill someone as well, now this is a different conversation, right? But if you're gonna kill someone, wouldn't you just like fire twice anyway? Like that's, it's weird to say that's what I would do. Like I'm saying, if you say if a killer was coming towards you, and you had a gun, and they're about to murder you or something, wouldn't you go bang 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 bang, like shoot a bunch of times, or at least like go bang bang to make sure you shot them? That's what I'd do. And he's a kid, so obviously like, well, we're not saying it's him though, but I'm saying like anyone who is smaller. Say if it was like a lot of these other people were here, like that magician who was there, not experienced with the gun. I don't know. I'm still gonna defend Maki. I knew those bullet holes would come back to haunt me. Think, Justice, what do I do now? Raise an objection. Yeah, let's raise an objection. I'm raising an objection. You kidding me? Sure, there are bullet holes left in the wall. But that doesn't prove the shooter couldn't see. Yeah, it doesn't. We can't just make an assumption that just because he couldn't see. Like, we're picking and choosing when he's going to be good at like navigating through life and saying like, you know, you're making a decision based on what you want it to be. You know what I mean? When we need definitive proof. Like that I don't think that would hold up in court, would it? Again, they're very smart the way at the start of this trial they made the judge say he wants to push this along very quickly. You know what I mean? So that's why everything's getting rushed along a little bit, I think. Oh, how so? Well, there could have been a struggle with the victim. That's certainly possible. And it might have been the revolver's fault. The revolver? The revolver was a very large caliber, correct? If the shooter wasn't used to firing such a large weapon, why, it could dislocate their shoulder. Yes, we said this. Exactly. The defendant, Maki Tobei, as you can see, tiny. It is not so hard to picture him firing the gun and missing entirely. The kickback alone would throw off his aim. A convincing argument, to be sure. Take that, smug prosecution. Apollo? What? That bit about Maki being tiny and the gun throwing off his aim? Aren't you kind of, yeah. We could have said it could have been anyone who, like, we could have been like, it could have been anyone. Admitting that he did it, yeah, that's the problem. We could say it could have been anyone. Oh. It does not matter why he missed. What matters is that the shooter was, without a doubt, the defendant. Why were there no cameras in the green room? Is it because it's a dressing room, I guess? It's not a green room, it's a dressing room, I guess? Yeah, that makes sense. Even the defense seems to agree on that point. Yeah. Oh. Cripes, I really put my foot in it this time. Yes, we did. I really put my... Yeah. Well, let's get the facts of the matter on the record. If you would, Feline Detective. So, okay, so things are changing? Very well, the witness will... I'll just swear testimony. That's fine. That's fine. That's good. That's good. So, from the state of the crime scene, I conclude the shooter was blind. What do we say? From the state of the crime scene, I conclude the shooter was blind. So they obviously wanted to do something on this, like because that's why they changed it. There's a reason they change it. So what we have to prove now, let's talk about this. What we have to prove now is that even though he was blind, there's something with the crime scene. The sun is blaring at me. 1 second. Even though... Jesus Christ. That's a weird blind. Blind as in like the blinds I have behind me. Even though I conclude the shooter was blind. So like, okay. So even though what we're trying to say is, let me try and explain it in my head. We're trying to show in the crime scene that even though he was blind, there's something there that actually proves that a person who was blind couldn't be there. Like something like that, something that contradicts it. If he was blind, then how could this happen? If he was blind, then how could this happen? So we're looking for something like that. Like, what are we? So, okay, let's go through everything. I'm very nervous. Not the ballot, not this. What have we not used yet? We haven't used this, but like that's not gonna come up here now. And it's to do with the crime scene. So like the only thing we have on the crime scene is really like either this or this. Or this, I guess, as well. But death due to loss of blood from a gunshot wound. And we can't examine this further? Can we press this a second and see if we can get anything from it? You can't say he was blind just because of those bullet holes in the wall. I think I've proven that. I wouldn't call it proof per se. I wouldn't call it, you guys have proof either, to be honest. Huh? You would have merely raised a possibility. Frontline detective has made a most logical conjecture based upon the evidence. Go away. Of course, there was more evidence than just bullet holes. Give it to us. Give it to us then. Defendant was the only one who could have escaped through the air vent. Okay, that is a possibility. Yes, for sure. For sure. But wait, if he was blind, how would he know about the air vent in the first place? A very good point. Well, Frontline detective, you would care to explain? He certainly seems sure of himself. Okay, come on then. Recall the crime scene if you would. There was a stepladder below the air vent, and as it happens, maintenance was scheduled for that day. Custodial staff went around checking all the air vents. I don't believe it. Everyone backstage was told about the maintenance, including Maki Tobey. He would have known that there would have been a way out of the top of the stepladder, but he doesn't speak English, though. But why is this the first time I'm hearing about this? You could have figured it out for yourself. You'll need to consider what a stepladder was doing there. Man, we find stepladders everywhere. There is we go into the park, there's a stepladder. We walk home, there's a stepladder. We go into the hospital, there's a stepladder. There's a stepladder wherever we go. They follow us. The police won't do anything about these ladders. Looks like the defense objection has been squished by a stepladder. Well, air forehead. Out of ammunition, perhaps? I've never seen Prosecutor Gavin so aggressive. Maybe he's caught the scent of blood. Apollo, don't you have something? Anything? You know what we need? We need something to prove that the killer could see. Trucy confirming what I thought. Thank you so much. Okay, so we do need something that puts the... Yes, okay, that'll put him in his place. Proving the shooter was sighted would do it. That would take down one of the central points. Do I have any evidence that can prove that, though? Okay, fine, I accept the prosecution's challenge. As I knew you would, Air Forehead. What exactly am I up against here? The prosecution is saying the shooter missed because they couldn't see. Therefore, Maki, who's blind, did it. The defense will please present their evidence. Oh god, the evidence that overturns the prosecution's claim that the shooter couldn't see. The only things we can say about the crime scene are this or this. This does not give us anything. Process of elimination, it's this. I imagine that they're probably going to say, like, something about the bloodstain. Now, what they're going to say about the bloodstain, I'm not sure. Because, like, the writing is messed up, but I imagine that's just because it's, to me, I thought this was a dying message. This was written as a dying message, I believe. Whatever it says. What does it say? It says, like, it's upside down anyway. It has a U at the end. Let me check. Let me check if there are any names with U at the end. Oh, we can't even check. I'm gonna present this anyway. My estimation, that is the evidence. My estimation about this is that it's that if we're saying that something, how could he see? Then it's like, why would he leave a message and he wouldn't have been able to see the message, right? Like if he's blind, which he is blind, I'm saying not if he is blind. A blind person wouldn't be able to see the message. And if they're moving the body, wouldn't they just like if you were able to see? Wait, no, that proves it was him. That's my bad. No, let's not say that. I was saying if he moves the body, wouldn't he be able to see it and just like rub it out? So I was saying he couldn't see it. Yeah, no, let's forget about that. I didn't say that last part. The photograph of the crime scene? I don't care much for the smirk on the prosecutor Gavin's face. But it's no time to think twice. Time to press on. Yes, Your Honor. The crime scene. There's something in here that decisively contradicts the prosecution's point. Then perhaps you'd best show us this something. Get your finger on the breeze and put it to good use, yeah? Oh, God. Very well, show us what you're talking about, Mr. Justice. I'm guessing it's the writing. That's the only thing I can get. That's the only thing there is there. That's the only thing you could say. That's the only thing you could say. Right? The contradiction is right here, yeah. Because what? You couldn't see the blood on the hand? The smeared bloodstains. Wait a second, they're smeared bloodstains. Yes, I thought they were messed up because he was writing them and they were messed up. So if they're smeared bloodstains, we could say that if the person, if he couldn't see, he wouldn't be able to see the bloodstains. So the killer smeared the bloodstains. That's what happened. So if he was blind, he's blind, he wouldn't be able to see the bloodstains. So why would he mess them up? I thought it was just my blurry vision. But it really was blurry. The way the victim's hand is raised above his head, much like a gesture I've seen many times in this court. It's almost as if he wrote something. Aha, I get it. At least I think I get it. Yeah, Trucy, you helped with this. You helped us so much with this. Get what with free line. Trucy, watch the way Emma, a grown woman, reacts to this boy, okay? Watch this, okay? When Mr. Litthouse was shot, he tried to write something. And what would he write but the shooter's name? And what would he write in his own blood? Pretty good, huh? Well done, Trucy. Yes, you're right. Again, Trucy once again. Smartest girl in the room. Smartest person in the room. Thanks for making my point for me. Yes, in fact, that's what I think happened here. That does seem like a distinct possibility. The victim wrote the killer's name. It's certainly a logical conclusion. Drat. I just wish I wasn't all rubbed out like that. I just wish it wasn't all rubbed out like that. Of course it's rubbed out. Why, if I were a killer, I certainly wouldn't want to leave my own name behind. Really? You don't say, Mr. Judge. Neither would I. Oh, you don't say, Clavier. What do you guys say, Emma? No one has anything else to say? Yeah, come on, guys. You were so okay with bringing up the blind thing before as something that was decisive evidence. Where is it now? Now that it's turned on you. About what? So the prosecution accepts this? You agree this was the victims making an attempt to record the name of the killer? And that the killer tried to rub the name out? What's your point? We okay with this? Is everyone okay? You guys okay at home? What's my point? Let me ask you this. How did the killer know the victim was writing their name? If you want to use the blind thing, if you want to bring out the blind thing, then how's about this? How's about this for you? Well, Mr. Taos was writing something in blood once the killer saw what it was. Say that back again for me, Emma, there. I adore you, so I'm not going to actually be condescending to you. You're actually great. But I do want you to say it back. Wait. Once he saw what it was? But what did you just testify about the shooter? See, this is good that Apollo gets to, like, I think it's awesome. Apollo's been beaten down this whole trial, and he has been backed into a corner this whole trial. And now he's getting to, like, kind of be a bit more, like, he deserves a bit of condescendingness to all the people in the room, right? Because he's been 3-on-1 unintentionally so, just because there hasn't been a lack of evidence for his side. So I think it's okay for him to be a bit condescending in this. Yet the crime scene itself contradicts that. The killer had to have been able to see. Why would they rub out the name in blood otherwise? Huh. May I remind the court of the defendant Tamaki Tobey? He couldn't have been the shooter. Impossible. Order, Prosecutor Gavin. Please explain to me what this all means. I mean, looking at this photo, it seems quite clear that the shooter could see. Yet up until now. It seems I owe the court an apology. The Gaviniers are banned with law enforcement ties, yet a murder occurred during our concert. Apparently this caused some confusion over jurisdiction. As a result, some reports were not filed in an entirely timely manner. Oh no. No, this should be not allowed. This should be not allowed. No, it's over. They're not in the court record. Leave them out. I'm not listening to you. I'm not sure I like the vibe I'm getting here. Hey Apollo, look at him. Why is Prosecutor Gavin all relaxed and smile at that? Because he's a weirdo, Trucy. Looks like he knows something we don't, and he's about to tell us. I got an idea. Let's rock. With these documents, but before that, I have a question for the Fräulein detective. If I may. What? Tell me, why do you think that Maki Tobey is... Because she told us he was blind. Blind pianist. Huh? What did he say? What are you saying? Of course he's blind. Of course. He's the blind pianist, right? So he's... Doesn't Lamiro lead him around by the hand all the time? No way. I have a report here on the defendant Maki Tobey. According to this, Maki Tobey can see perfectly well. Hold on here a second. So you were perfect. Okay, let me get closer to the mic here. So you were perfectly fine with using the evidence of him being blind as evidence to put him away, to put this child away. You were perfectly fine with this, Clavier. This was okay with you. This 14-year-old kid. His blindness was merely a publicity ploy by those clever Borginians. He can see quite well. But you said... What did I say exactly? Therefore, not once in this court of this trial have I claimed the defendant was blind. No. How far does this go? No, we can't even go back to when he was talking about it. Like he never claimed it outright. But I'm sorry, an implication in the court. If he was going to use it as evidence to put him away, and he agreed with Emma. He did, and don't try it. Don't try it. Come at me. Well, actually, never claimed. I know he never claimed it directly that he was blind, but he was 100% okay with the trial ending, with that knowledge that he was blind, and that's one of the pieces of evidence. He was more than happy with that. My mind is blown here. My mind is blown. The only one who did was the Fräulein detective. And yes, and you knew it was wrong, and you said nothing. You knew it was wrong. And then I had to argue something to show that that because he was blind, actually you couldn't have done it. And you didn't know, you only spoke up once it was against your point. But that's a significant fact, yes. Consider Maki Tobey sees. And he's the only one who could fled through the air vent. I see no problem with this. Judge, the vibes here are liars, lie rancid. I'm just saying, right? I'm just saying. Like, can you imagine halfway through a court case, if a lawyer stood up and said, actually, that piece of evidence we were using before to put him away as the criminal, the fact he was blind, I don't agree with that, actually, because now it works against me. The judge would call a recess, I'd say, straight away and be like, what's going on? He'd call him into their office and be like, what's going on? And he'd be like, we need a new lawyer on this case. What is happening? What about the bullet holes in the wall? Yes, the bullet holes. I believe F4 had neatly explained those for us. He didn't miss because he couldn't see. It was a kickback from the .45 caliber rifle. There should be a law against withholding information like this. There should be a law. A simple accident, in other words. There should be a law. There should be a law. Trucy, this is not what you want to be. Listen to your dad. Ah, how's that? I'm afraid your objection has just flown off for brighter skies. I'm dying. I'm dying right now. Again, it's not like I'm trying to explain to you guys. I'm trying to like make sense of this because you guys know what's happening. But like, if your two friends were arguing, and those two friends were like, and one of the friends was like, you stole my peanut butter because you love peanut butter, and then like the other guy was like, yeah, that does sound right. That sounds right. And you're like, no, I didn't steal the peanut butter. I didn't. I don't like peanut butter. I don't like it at all. And it's like, yeah, you say you do like peanut butter. You do. And then someone else comes in and goes, well, he couldn't have sold the peanut butter because this happened. And then this happened, and he actually didn't. Because he loves peanut butter, he wouldn't steal it. And then the other friend goes, actually, he doesn't like peanut butter. That's what this is like. That was the worst analogy I've ever had in my life. I should be up for trial now. Objection. This is where the real fun begins, Air4 Ed. Oh, I have evidence too. These reports that say shut up. I knew you didn't have what it took. You jerk. Just what was I in here for? Comic relief? That's the thing. Emma's probably feeling freaking awful right now because she was played for a fiddle as well. Like, all this evidence that she had was used to try and put this kid away, but it was all false evidence. Yeah, apologize. I agree. Oh, sorry. That's no way to apologize, Trucy. Trucy's breaking the spell. She's breaking the spell. He's angered to Trucy now. Look out. Yeah, exactly. If you've upset Trucy, who's the sweetest soul who ever lived in all of life and space and time, then you're done. If we can please end the bickering now. Whatever. I'm not leaving. I can't leave like this. I'll come up with some clue to solving this case if it kills me. So now you got Emma on our side, hopefully. Hopefully. But your testimony's already been given enough to convict the defendant. Has it? How? In what world? In what universe are you living in, Judge? Okay, let's see. We have the kickback. We have the two bullets, right, in the wall. We have he's the only small person small enough to go through the vent. You still, to me, we still have to find out who carried the body out. And who put them both on the stair? Because he started off this thing by saying it was to do with the song, and he raised up the scissor lift to put the body on there with Latouche. For that to happen, he had to be strong enough to put the body up there with Latouche. Right? That has to be explained as well. Ah, what? This bloodstain. The criminal tried to wipe it off, right? That seems to be what happened, yes? We might be able to find out what was really written there. Really? You can do that? I'm just like, I'm lost. I'm at a loss for words. I'm at a loss for words. I truly am. No, I'm not really, as you know, I talk for Ireland, but that's right. With this, it's called luminol. Maybe you know of it. It's a chemical that reacts to blood. Ah, yes, we have do we done those tests yet? As if I'm going to tell you. The blood stains covered in sections of the carpet. In order to perform a test, the section was removed and submitted. Perhaps you should request it here in the court now. Oh, I'm going crazy. Right, go for it, Apollo. Huh? I have to do the test? You just have to spray the luminol on it. Simple. A chemical that reacts to blood. I've heard this somewhere. Yes, I believe an analysis is called for. Have at it. Right, ready? It's easy as pie. Just press the X to spray the area. Here, give it a try. The eyes of an entire court are focused on me. Oh, Paul, your hands are shaking. Let's do this. I mean, it's kind of like, tough. Wait, what does it say? What does it say? IPYX314206. I'm trying to see if it has anything related to anything here. This must be the power of science. It says IPXX314206. Is that the killer's name? Maybe it is. If the killer was a robot. I have it. So what is it? I thought those letters IPXX looked familiar. This is an Interpol ID number. Interpol, you mean the International Police Agency? Yes. Most are undercover agents working to solve international crimes, but why would he write that number? Why would Mr. Latus even know a number like that? Good show, Fräulein Detective. Rock on. Your Honor, we can verify this number immediately. Darien, are you there? Come to the witness stand. Oh, it's Skunk Boy. Darien, you heard what we need. Go check into this Interpol ID number. Sure thing. Give me 30 minutes. No, give me 27. I'm not sure what to think of all this. The prosecution's case is airtight, so it's... I wouldn't say it's airtight. It's tight. It's not airtight. I could poke some holes in it. The carrying of the body is still something so important to me. If the number is really that of an Interpol agent... Oh wait, I know. What if Maki Topai is really an undercover Interpol agent? That would be a possibility. Huh? A possibility, yes. That means it's true if it comes to the prosecution. It must be true. And one that would mark him as a killer for certain. Why did Latus know an Interpol ID number? That's what I want to know. Well, we have some time while we wait Darian's report. Let's work on unraveling another mystery, shall we? A curious mystery concerning Maki Tobai. What are you talking about? Fräulein Detective, please accept my apologies. I received word the defendant could in fact see just before the trial began, and you let the whole trial go on forward. It seemed too much of a bother to tell you. Oh yes, of course. Of course, what a sweetheart. What a sweetheart. Such a sweetie, 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 sweetie person. You had me until the last bit. Exactly. Exactly. Does this not raise a rather straightforward question? Well, sure. Why didn't Maki pretend he couldn't see? Well, they said for publicity, no? Isn't that what they said? Exactly, makes little sense. What do you think, Air Forehead? Huh? Me? Maki Tobai pretended he was blind. Do you know why? How could he know? Wait, Prosecutor Gavin knows why, doesn't he? Yeah, he's leading us along. He knows from the start. He's known from the start of this trial. He's been leading us on this whole time. Yes, I agree. I agree. Something wrong? Do you think perhaps this is all some kind of game? Notice the moment I heard that report, I knew why. You're playing a game. You are playing a game. I suppose people who have showed over 1 million records really are something else. What does that have to do with anything? There was a reason why Maki Tobai pretended to be blind, but it wasn't for his own sake. Getting the picture now? It wasn't for himself? Well, Mr. Justice, can you present evidence that shows us why the defendant had to be feign blindness? What? Do we have anything that is... The only thing, like, okay, so what we presented this. We haven't presented this. The only thing besides this is the music or the postcard. That's it. But like, what does that even like? It's not the song. It's definitely not the song. So the only thing it could be is this, but I'm just like kind of like. Lamiro sightseeing music. I'm gonna present the postcard, but that's just because literally there's nothing else here. Like, there's no other piece of evidence that we could do here. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna go with. Unless we can say I haven't a clue, but I really feel like this is one of those moments where they want us to show evidence. Let's try and think. Well, like what could like there's nothing. Okay, if we're saying it's this, like the only thing I can think of is like the Lamiro quote unquote sightseeing music. That's the only thing I'm thinking, because it's saying maybe he doesn't actually have this. They don't actually have sightseeing. Like he didn't have sightseeing. So maybe because it's like, hey, I don't know. It's publicity or something. I don't know. This is one of the most confusing trials I've ever had in my life. Mike had no reason to pretend he couldn't see, which means, no, it couldn't be. Good show, Air Force. Wait, couldn't be? What do you mean? It seems you thought of something. Why can't I figure these things out on my own? I hate having to take my cues from this guy. Very well. Look at this. This is why he was pretending he couldn't see. Let's try it. That is Lamiro? Lamiro and Maki Tabai. Recall their relationship, in particular their unique arrangement over the years before visiting our country. Lamiro and her pianist. They would always walk together, she leading him by the hand. Are they... Even when they got on stage, she would lead him onto the... Are they saying that he's not blind, so why would he do this? She would walk all the way over there with him. That's right, because he was blind. She led him at all times, never letting him go. All times, Yet, we have just learned something that makes their arrangement peculiar indeed. Maki could see. Why did they have to keep up this act this whole time? I thought it was for publicity. Well, wasn't it part of the... Yes, that's what we were saying, part of their performance. I think there's a simpler explanation. Maki did not need to be led by the hand at all. That can only mean one thing. No way. Are they saying that she's blind? No, what? My brain is melted. I am in a state of utter confusion. I don't... Well, this trial is crazy. The one who needs to be led by the hand was Lamiro.
What's this? So you mean to say that Lamiro she's...
Yes, Your Honor. Lamiro is blind. In what universe? What? I'm... Order. What is happening? This is crazy, prosecutor. It's more than... I'm broken. I'm broken. Is it now?
Please shed some sanity on this madness. The defense has made an outrageous claim.
The only thing outrageous I see about the defense is his vast forehead. Yet I see it is not vast in vain this time. He's quite correct. Jesus. Now here's the thing. Like, none of my business if you're blind or not. You do what you need to do. None of my business whatsoever. At all. But crazy to keep this up. You know what I mean? all this time. Like, to keep this up for such a long time.
But that makes no sense.
Yeah, wasn't she supposed to be the landscape painter in sound or something?
Well, since we have her here, why not ask Lamiro herself? I believe she's still in the witness waiting room.
What does this mean for our case? Trucy, you're asking the wrong person. You're asking the wrong person. Don't ask me, I had no idea she couldn't see. I hadn't even imagined up until now.
Bailiff, bring in Lamiro.
Lamiro, I think I need to cool down a bit. And here's the thing, can I just say, I'm not laughing at the blind aspect, right? Being blind, like, it's a difference about you. There's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with you if you are blind, if you're partially blind or whatever. There's nothing wrong with it. What's crazy to me is how this trial so far has felt like they have been turning everything upside down over and over again like in a tumble dryer. And I know it's intentional. I know it's intentional that this trial is crazy. This trial is like constantly changing. Everything's changing. I feel like the evidence and the situations in the room like that we had, like the room where everything happened, has changed 20 times now. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. Obviously, I think the intention is to make you feel a bit discombobulated. That's the whole point. That's why everyone else was reacting like, what? Yeah, we're gonna come back in the next one. We're gonna figure this out. Hopefully, figure this out. Hopefully figure it out. Thank you to Never Pay the Baby Gangsters for keeping me sane as well. Tyfire 2, Jamie Bull, Janet the Banana, Normal Kara, The Ghost of Inazuma, Felicious Felix, George Candelaria, Eskun, Yuled, Radish, Fruity, Orange Banks, Summer Races, Death Trap, Anusta, Ciabatta Bread, and Malcolm Kunde. I'll see you all very soon.